So I think as a kid, I was always like kind of challenged to dim my light, I guess, because I was like, I don't want my friends being like, you take ballet, you do all this stuff. You know what I mean?
Right. While in Hamilton, you do Thanksgiving Day parade and everybody finds out who you are. What was that like? Like
all of a sudden, you know, you go onto your Instagram and you're like, wait, what happened? Someone like tag me in something. I'm like, no, we were just on TV. And so when you're like, I need a day, I need a week, I need to reset, people are like, why? I'm doing this every day. Have you ever prepared for a show? When you prepare for a show, there's a list of things that go before that. Hey guys, this is Baynard and you're tuned in to Suave Sessions.
where did you grow up? What was growing up like? What was childhood like?
Childhood, I was born and raised in New Jersey, Linden, New Jersey. I've been there. I was born in Livingston, New Jersey, but always been a Jersey kid. But I've been there, you know, until I went to college. And it wasn't anything special, but it wasn't anything that I didn't enjoy. I didn't have a crazy childhood growing up. It was pretty normal. I went to a regular school. I didn't go to any performing arts school, but I started dancing about the age of 3, pretty much as soon as I could jump around. And wow. That's been my life.
So where's Livingston at?
Livingston, it's a little bit more central Jersey.
Okay.
South, but yeah, right now I live in North Jersey now. So
never I mean, because you're in New York.
Yeah. It's just, I feel like it's just easier. I feel like working in Manhattan and living in Manhattan, where it's just overstimulating. And so I was like, well, I'm, you know, somewhat familiar with Jersey. And then I, you know, found a spot quite close to the city across the Jersey. So yeah, it's been nice.
Nah, it makes life easier. I lived in Brooklyn for 6 years and was working in Manhattan. And it wasn't until I would leave out of the city that I realized how draining being in New York City can be.
Oh,
so it's like I would leave on vacation and sleep. And it made me mad, but I didn't realize like I never stopped moving when I'm home. So
yes. Yeah, truly. I mean,
I get it.
Yeah.
So 3 years old, you start dancing. What inspired it? Like who were you watching that made you want to start dancing at 3?
Goodness, my mom, she was jumping around with me. She was a choreographer. She was a dance instructor at the church. What is it? The dance team. Team, and she would take African dance classes and sing it. So that was always a part of my life. She was doing it, and I would watch her take African dance class when I was like, probably couldn't even walk, barely. And then I would go home with her. I would sit and watch the whole class, and she would be in the mirror trying to go over the choreography. And I'm like, you missed a step. And I would jump up and do it. And she's like, what are you doing? Like, you just take the class. Like, how do you know what's going on? And from then I've just been jumping around. And she's been my mirror in that way. Yeah.
Wow. Is your mom, is she still alive?
She passed. She passed away.
Okay.
I want to say back in 2010. So almost 12 years. She had cancer, but she was amazing while she was alive, for sure.
Yeah, no, I pick up on like cues. So like when you were talking about her, like your face kind of like glue or went into a glow. I don't know if glue is a word, but your face started glowing.
Yeah.
So it's like I was trying to figure out like that connection was. So sorry that you lost her. I know that's hard. I don't know that's hard. I can imagine how hard it is. It's not something I'm ready to experience yet. So
yeah, understood. Yeah. She was one of my biggest supporters, and I was hers. You know what I mean? She was an incredible person, but also an incredible artist. I think that's why I wanted to do this, and I believed I could because someone like her to watch and to kind of emulate. I mean, she would, man, I'll just watch her on stage. Anytime she would perform, even at church, her facial expressions and the way she would move her body, I was like, I can totally do that. And I think because I had that,
Yeah.
it stuck. It stuck like glue, so to speak.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I understand. So when you start dancing, now you're getting older. Dance for males is always harder because of the social experience of dancing in the neighborhood. Like, were you challenged with those same things? Like, I don't have to beat you up because I'm a dancer. Like, you can still catch hands. Like, don't get it twisted.
I think people they don't realize, when they're ignorant to something, they don't realize what it takes to do it. They don't realize that they don't feel your shoes because they can't understand what your life is like. So I think as a kid, I was always like kind of challenged to dim my light, I guess, because I was like, I don't want my friends being like, you take ballet, you do all this stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
I started with tap when I was about 7 years old, because I was like, let's start with tap. I didn't want my friends to be making fun of me, so I started with tap. And then, the teacher was saying to me that you gotta do more. You gotta have more genres under your belt as an artist, especially as a male dancer. You need that ability. And so I started dance classes and ballet classes, so on and so forth. But yeah, I was like, I didn't want people to know that. But I think as I got older, it's just it was an amazing feeling to be able to connect with people through movement. And so I was like, yeah, forget dimming this light. I gotta.
Yeah, and I think the older you get, especially after you leave like that school age era, the older you get, the more it's respected, because we understand as people who are not dancers, I can't do that. And we can try some stuff, and then it's like, yeah, I really can't do that. And it's just it's the realism of understanding like the skill that it takes to do anything on those levels. So going out of high school, did you step back first? When you go into ballet, every guy that I've talked to that has went into ballet from intermediate to professional has said that was actually one of the hardest challenges of their dance careers, because of the technicality of it and then the flexibility that it takes. And it's not just some practice, it's a lot of practice to get everything right. What was being a ballet dancer to you, going from tap into ballet?
I feel like I always just loved dance. I just did. And so I wasn't really, I don't want to say I was a strong student. I didn't take ballet seriously until I got into college. I was taking ballet classes, and the teacher, she was like, Ray, you gotta go harder. Like, you're not sweating, you don't know the combinations, like, what's going on? And when she said that to me, obviously I'm being graded as a student, went to school for dance. So I started to pull up, and there was this awareness that I had of my body that I don't think I would be able to understand my body the way that I do if it wasn't for ballet, if it wasn't for dance. There are things that, like doing 8 shows a week, you have to be very consistent. So if I'm doing a double turn, 8 shows a week, they want me to do that double turn into that layout clean every night if possible. So I have to find ways, what do I have to lift in my body to keep that a consistent double turn so that I can do it. There's an awareness that came with ballet as a man. I said, but also now that I'm much bigger, I've lost a lot of weight doing the show, but even before the show, like, drained me of a lot of my weight. Man, I was at my biggest over the pandemic. So yeah, I've always been quite flexible. So I will say that I think I had that advantage as a kid, as a man. As a boy growing up, I was pretty flexible, always could do my splits and things like that. So that gave me an advantage in dance. But I've always stretched throughout my training process and putting on weight and putting on size. And so now that I'm in my 30s, I'm 31. I remember this guy I was training with, he said to me, he was 6'7", and I was on tour with Lion King. And he was like, yeah, wait till you get into your 30s. I said, what happens then? He said, you get this thing called wide. And I was like, me? Wide? All right, bro. You know, like he's just talking. He don't know me. I don't live in the future. He doesn't either. But I didn't think he was serious. And now it's like that is my base. But I've always been stretching. I've always been working. I've always been doing performances. So I guess even on the sides, I was able to maintain flexibility. So I think when people see me perform, it's kind of like, wait, how are you doing this right now? How are you the size that you are and you're able to, you know, still move as fluid as you can or whatever it is. So that's been my experience, at least as a man.
Yeah, because we don't stretch when we work out. We work out. We might get on the treadmill before we start working out, but we work out and then we leave. Like there's no stretching, there's no cooling down. Like it's not happening. I don't got time. Where's my smoothie? Like that's how I go to the gym. It's run, get my smoothie and let's go. Maybe the sauna, that might work.
Yes.
You get to college, you're dancing. At what point do you say, I want this to be a professional career?
Well, that was always the plan. Even
that was always your plan.
Yeah. My mom
always,
but it was a little bit different than what I'm saying because there's concert dance and then there's theater, right?
Mm-hmm.
Concert dance is Alvin Ailey. That's like American Ballet Theater, New York City Ballet. That's Lions Ballet, Cedar Lake. All these companies that perform repertoire. So they'll have a choreographer come in, teach them choreography, and then they'll perform it, you know, in season. And so that was what I was initially wanting to do. So I went into college with the mindset of becoming a concert dancer. So that's knowing your ballet, you know, knowing your moderns. There's so many different types of modern techniques that you have to learn as well. So knowing all these things so that you can have a successful career as a concert dancer. And, you know, I started working closely with this company. I don't need to say what company it was back in college. And long story short, it fell through. And I was like, so what are we doing? Like, what do I do now? And once I graduated college, you know, I started looking up playbill. Now, my mom and I, we always used to go and see Broadway shows together. And we always talked about me being on Broadway. And I was like, yeah, I'll do that eventually. I never thought of how I would do it. I never thought of the steps it takes to get there. But I saw, you know, once I graduated college, I saw ads online on playbill.com for theater, Lion King, Wicked, other shows. And I just went to the auditions. And then that's when I booked my first Broadway show production. And then doing that, and it was a tour of Lion King, and I was there for about 3.5 years. Did that, and from then I just started seeing other shows, and I was like, I really want to do that one. I really wanted to do Hamilton. I didn't think they would hire me because I was tall, and here we are, you know, and so on and so forth. And then things just kept happening in the theater world, which is amazing.
What did that feel like when you landed your first gig on Broadway?
Tour experience or my first Broadway experience?
Let's do both. Because even going on tour with a Broadway show it's that step. Like it's that level of achievement that you pretty much work towards. Just being in the industry, like to say I'm doing this show on tour, like it's still a big deal.
Yeah, it was I would say it was I learned so much. I think my first touring experience with Lion King for a number of reasons. I think in Lion King, and as a dancer in the show, you play a bunch of puppets. You're in puppets, you're in things that cover you up. And in the concert dance world, when I went to school, you know, you're not dancing in puppets, you're dancing as yourself. And so I think it's a level of validation that I was used to getting. And I thought that meant I was doing a good job. And so when I was doing Lion King, I'm wearing these puppets, I'm coming to the stage door, and people are like, who are you? And so for me, you don't always know if you're doing a great job.
Yeah.
But then you have those moments when you're like, okay, well, I have to figure out how to do 8 shows a week, because I've never done that before when I was 22, which was a huge culture shock. a great experience, a great learning experience, but very difficult. And there's no way to truly prepare for it. You just have to do it. And each show is different. You know, this show, Jay, is probably one of the most difficult shows I've done on my body, my mind, and my spirit. And you know, this here we are, we're doing it. And so your body adjusts according to, you know, whatever show you're doing. But my touring experience was a lot that I learned, and I'm grateful for it because it taught me a lot about my not just discipline, but integrity behind the movement. If you're in the back, people don't know it's you. 8 shows a week, are you still going to give 100% of what you have? I know one of my pet peeves when I go to a show and I see somebody marking, I'm like, we wanted this. Like, we wanted to do this, and it's hard. Like, it's not easy. But now that we're here, if we're gonna do it, if we're gonna be on stage, we might as well do it. Don't save it, you know. But it's been a huge learning experience.
I like that. Because sometimes we get to a place of taking the opportunity that we've prayed for, worked for, sacrificed for, and then get it and just like take it for granted because it's not the opportunity that we wanted. So it's like, it's just this, I can skate through.
It's
so that integrity part, that's major.
Yeah, I feel like the work doesn't stop when you get the job. I think sometimes, especially now, I think with social media, if you're doing something cool like Broadway, you know, a lot of people want to get there at some point. And sometimes people get the job, they're so excited. They're like, I got it. And then, you know, they come and do whatever they want to do at work. And you're like, but that's not where the work starts now that we have the job. Now it's about how do we take care of ourselves so that we can do it every day. How can we give it 100% of what we have every time we perform? How do we, you know, keep it consistent? Just things like that.
Yeah. Then when you actually get on Broadway and you're now in the theater and you're on the row, your first show was Hamilton?
Yes.
Which is major and sold out for a very long time. So people that got to see it, it's like it becomes a big deal. Yeah. I have a friend that he did Hamilton for a while. We were talking and he was saying that as draining as it is, he understands that every single person sitting in the theater spent hundreds of dollars to sit in the theater. Yeah. So he's like, I have to go 110% every single time. Like it's the first time I did it. So it's like, it touches back on that integrity part you were saying, but it reminds you that the strenuous aspect of being a Broadway performer is really hard. And a lot of us don't really have to do anything that strenuous on a daily basis. I can't sing to start. Let's just be honest. I'm not a singer. I'm not a singer. I'm not a dancer. I will write a magazine in a heartbeat, but the other two I'm not doing.
Well, so clearly do that well.
I appreciate that.
Yes.
However, I don't have to do this for hours every day, 8 times a week, the exact same way and not mess up. Because the moment I mess up, it's like the person that's never seen this before is now going to go and review and say, you were horrible. Yeah. Like, I don't have that level of stress. So like, how do you mentally how do you mentally do it?
Trial and error, I guess. I stay prayed up. I ask God for help because I'm not perfect. I get in the way. Mm-hmm. I get tired. I get fatigued. And I think sometimes, I can only speak for me personally. I'm sure, you know, everyone else could say the same thing, but it takes a lot for me to do the show. And to make it look easy is what we're hired to do. And when you make it, people think it's easy. And so when you're like, I need a day, I need a week, I need to reset, people are like, why? I'm doing this every day. Have you ever prepared for a show? When you prepare for a show, there's a list of things that go before that. You're trying to get yourself ready. You take a shower, you get something to eat. You really have to prepare yourself for this event. We're doing that every day of every week. Like you said, you know, the pressure of coming in and being consistent because it's somebody's first time seeing the show. Somebody paid. It's not. It's been amazing, even with MJ. People, oh my gosh, they've come like 15 to 20 times.
Yeah.
Opened in February. I'm like, oh, what? And even for those people, they're paying hundreds and hundreds of dollars to feel that joy that they had the first time, the second time, the third time. Right. So it's like, I do my best to bring that and to remember that how I feel, it doesn't show. Like, they don't know what I'm feeling, right? So I'm gonna try and give it my best. I'm gonna smile. I'm gonna perform, because I remember what it was like for me to see a Broadway show. I didn't know that they did that 8 shows a week. I had no idea. Yeah. Doesn't know. They don't know what I'm feeling. So I almost pretend that this is that I'm like, yeah, this is the first time I did this. Even though my body is like, Raymond, if you do one more turn on your left leg, I'm losing. My body would be telling me that. My body is like, I cannot believe how much I have to do in the next 2 hours.
Yeah.
You know? But I have to tell myself, okay, well, here we are. They don't know this, and I try to tell myself this. I don't think I'll be able to explain it, but I try to tell myself to perform the way that I've always imagined myself performing. There are moments in the show that I'm doing currently that I've dreamt of when I was a kid. It's crazy. It's really crazy having those moments. And that doesn't always stay present in my mind because I'm human. Like I said, I get tired, my body hurts. But for the most part, I'm like, remember, just perform the way that you've always imagined yourself performing. Being confident, being free, being consistent, being as great as you allow yourself to be. It's a lot. It's a lot.
So for me, the closest I come to that, I like to run. I love going running. Oh yeah. I mean,
I don't.
Do not. But I guarantee you, you're probably more conditioned to run further than I am, and I run because you're conditioned to perform and react and be mobile and all that kind of, like, again, I'm conditioned to write.
Yes.
But when running, it becomes my body saying, you're crazy, stop. This is no longer okay.
Literally.
What are you doing? Like, I'm literally ready to give out on you. If you run another quarter of anything, I'm going to lay on the ground. Like, that's my body. My mind is like, don't stop. You can keep going. You have more in you. Push. And it's like, it's that mind over body. Like, your body be ready to just.
Yo, every day.
It has a different limit.
Yeah. Yeah, and like you said, I remember there was this actor, his name was Joshua Henry. And we did Hamilton together. We did LA, the West Coast Company together. And man, he's incredible. Like, when he's on stage, it's incredible to watch this man commit to whatever he's doing. Movement, voice, acting, he's incredible. But even off stage, he was such a light. And I'm looking at this man, I'm like, you're the lead of this show. And you have enough energy to talk. Meanwhile, I'm over here like trying to, give myself pep talks, breathe, like get your. This man is still being a light backstage. So I asked him, I said, how do you do it? How do you have the energy to do this every day? You come in every day, you're doing the show to the best of your ability, and you're still being kind and social. How do you do it? He was like, you have to believe that your energy is limitless. Like, there's no end to your energy. And I'm like, what? How do you get there? Yeah. And it's here. There's and I haven't mastered it yet. I have not figured it all out. But there are times when my body is like, nah, I won this war. We sitting down today.
We're
But
sitting down.
it really is a mind over matter thing. You have to tell yourself and do the best to prepare yourself for every week. Every Wednesday and every Saturday, I have 2 shows, and my body's like, okay, and you're like, you can do this. Just breathe through it. Just take your moments. Pace yourself. Don't think too hard. Take it one moment at a time. It really is a huge mind game. It is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got it, man. Because I'll be on the stage like, I forgot my step.
Yeah, I know.
Where am I supposed to be?
Which does happen. Sometimes, and that's the part about live theater that makes it fun, I guess. Because you're like, did you see that? Did you hear me say that line? Did you catch that mess up? And you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I have to do it tomorrow and 30 days after that. So,
You got it.
Yeah.
While on Hamilton, because we're going to get to the MJ experience next. While on Hamilton, you do Thanksgiving Day parade, and everybody finds out who you are.
Okay.
Everyone, you get blasted. There's this Hamilton actor that is stunning to the world, and now everyone finds out who you are. What was that like? Like, what's the amount of attention, reckless attention, stalking,
Okay.
behavior? Like, what did that do to your life?
Well, it wasn't as crazy, I guess, as some would imagine it being. I honestly just all of a sudden, you go onto your Instagram and you're like, wait, what happened? Someone like tag me in something. I'm like, no, we were just on TV. And I think it's amazing. I'm so grateful, to God that, for all the encouragement that I've gotten over the past, few years. But yeah, I was just doing my thing, and then, it just happened. I think it's means a lot, especially as a dancer. We most times, almost all the time, we get the shorter end of the stick. In theater, in any industry, that people are like, oh, you guys are the dancers, and they don't realize what it takes for us to do what we do. So I think we noticed in a group of people, and they say, who's that though? I think that's a really cool feeling, and I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, MJ experience.
MJ.
You're 31.
Yes.
So you teenager when he died.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you get the opportunity for the show, knowing how many dancers audition and how long of a list it is for people that want to do something that is involved, what was that experience for you, getting the nod to say you're going to be on?
Okay, so this is going to be it's quite funny. I heard about the auditions, and every time there was an audition, it was like on a day off, because I was already, still currently doing Hamilton, so it was either on a day off or it just didn't work out with my schedule. And so I was like, I wasn't really pressed, because I was also I was kind of just doing my thing already. Not that I knew what was next for me, but it was just, whatever. So my agent, she said, there's an audition. She sent me an audition for MJ maybe 2-3 times at this point. And I was like, let me go, because I don't want her to think that I'm not gonna go to, I'm not wanting to do any of the auditions she sent me out for. And so I went, and, we're learning this choreography, and I'm like drenched by the end of the audition. And I was like, all right, I went to this audition. It was so much fun. Great. And then, within the hour, my agent was like, so they want to offer you the workshop. For those who don't know what workshopping is, it's when they do a series of weeks where they go over the music and how they're going to put together the show and the choreography, all those things, before it gets to Broadway, before they showcase it. So they just want to workshop some things. And so they were offering me the workshop. And I declined because I was already in a crazy schedule, and I was like, I I don't know how I'm going to be able to balance both. They were like, we want you to reconsider. I was like, okay. So it ended up working out to where I was able to do the workshop, and it was a great experience. I think as a cast, I've never worked with such an amazing group of people that I had great camaraderie with. We had that with Hamilton, of course. It was a great knit family. But MJ, there was a different kind of energy. It was no bad juju. People weren't like coming for each other or trying to shade each other.
Yeah.
It was a really great environment to work and very encouraging and uplifting, and people wanted to be there. So that was really cool. And then the pandemic hit. And so we had all this time off, and I was still trying to figure out if I still wanted to do it. You know, I also taken my weightlifting a little bit more seriously, and I was just enjoying that process. I was much bigger than most dancers. Mm-hmm. So I was still trying to figure out if I was going to do it, and I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to do it. I think it'd be a great experience. Like I said, I had a great one a couple of years prior to it. So once the pandemic finally ended and we all reconnected, yeah, it just has been a crazy roller coaster experience doing the show because it's so special. It's not like any other Broadway show. I don't know if you've gotten to see it yet.
Not yet.
Yeah,
I got to make my way to New York first.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you see it, it really is just, it's like the Broadway Olympics. Like the sound, the lighting, the choreography, the cast, Miles, amazing.
Yeah,
you'll love it.
What was I guess for you, the biggest challenge of being on the show or being in this production? What is that for you right now? Or is there even a challenge of being on it?
Again, I'm 31. I think when I got the show, I was like 28, turning 29. So doing the show in my 30s is way more different than I think doing a show would be in my 20s. But I'm learning a lot about myself. I'm learning that I'm stronger than I think I am. But oh my goodness, my body and my mind has been through so much because of the schedule. But what we're doing on stage physically is something like that I've never done before at this caliber with this schedule, 8 shows a week. So my experience has been a lot of ups, but also a lot of challenges with trying to maintain enough energy to do what I love to do. So that has been the biggest challenge. Is like, how do I do this? Even today, waking up, I'm like, all right, we got the show tonight. It's like, it's you gotta always prepare yourself. That's probably the biggest challenge, honestly.
Yeah. Has anybody from the family been to the show already?
Yes. I have a quite.
I know Janet's in Harlem. Has she come down?
Who's in Harlem?
Janet.
Oh. Yeah.
Okay. No.
She hasn't come to the show yet. At least I don't think so. The brothers did. Tito.
Okay.
Oh goodness, Jackie, and I don't think Jermaine came, but yeah, all the brothers came except for I think Jermaine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was that a lot of people find it hard to perform in front of them when it's a Michael Jackson show of any caliber?
Yeah.
Did you know beforehand that they were out there?
No.
Okay.
I think, and then like during the show, you'll hear people, I think such and such is here, or I think such and such is here. And some people don't want to know that. A lot of people actually, more often, I feel like my castmates don't want to know that. They don't want to know who's, because it makes you keep getting in your head. You're like, I don't want to, let me just do my show. And then, tell me after, okay, great. They saw the show. But usually, we find out during the show, and then we meet them after sometimes. Sometimes we don't. But we've had a lot of great Jackson's. Paris, his daughter, his family, they come a lot, which is cool. So, yeah.
One of my friends, she took her son to the show, and like after the show, he's like in full MJ everything. Like he's dancing down the sidewalk. She takes like Instagram videos and was like, "This is the best night of his life."
I love that.
And he's like going in. So knowing that you guys are inspiring another generation who wasn't alive when Michael Jackson was alive, that you guys are continuing that legacy, continue that inspiration. What is that? Have you thought about that? Let's start there before I ask you, what does it feel like?
Probably haven't really thought about it that way before. I think, we just wanted to put out good work. And we wanted to make, I think Lynn, who wrote the book, wanted to put out something that celebrated Michael and his legacy, which she did beautifully. She was able to start the show back in '92, right before he started the Dangerous Tour. And she did a really great way of weaving in and out of his past into that present of putting the tour together right to the very moment he like pops out of the toaster and he's doing the Dangerous Tour. It's really, really, really incredible work.
Yeah. So working out, and then we can wrap up. You're literally physically conditioning on the show. Dancing on that level, that caliber 8 times a day for 2 hours a day is a lot of conditioning. How are you still going to the gym before doing these shows? Like I watched the video, I'm like, he's literally working out like he doesn't have these many shows to do over the next 6 days.
Yeah.
So how are you finding time, one? And then for you, I guess, mentally, is it just healthy for you to be in the gym and in that environment?
To be honest, I don't even get to the gym a lot anymore. For one, I don't have the energy, but my body has limits. You know what I mean? So I only go to the gym twice a week, or maybe 3 times if I feel good.
Oh, okay. It's only 2 or 3 times a week that you go work out.
Yes. In addition. And what I use,
it's only, I don't go to the gym. It's only like 2 or 3 times.
I mean, like I used to, now. I was actually somebody that went to the gym like 5 times out of the week.
Okay, so it's a lot less frequent than what it used to be.
Yes.
Okay. But I love that. I love that you consider that I don't go to the gym anymore. Like, it's just like, I might pop in, but I don't go to the gym no more. It's only 3 times, like every other day.
Think about it that way. Because I used to be in the gym for maybe 2 hours, 2.5, sometimes 3.5 hours. It was crazy. But now I'm in there for an hour and a half max. And that's just enough. My body doesn't need more than that. I've been long enough now to know how to get the most effective workout in a short amount of time. So, when I'm there for that, 2, maybe 3 days out of the week, I'm really in and out just to maintain. Also my mental, it really does help me with my mental health a lot. And in addition to maintaining something that makes me happy.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna go with that. So we're gonna encourage people to, not work out 3 times a week.
Well, that's the thing. I think. Well, are you somebody that likes to go to the gym? Like, what's your thing?
Do I like going to the gym? Absolutely not. Do I go? But I think if I had a non-creepy, really dope gym with great equipment, I would absolutely love working out. But there's something about working out and just being stared at as you're working out that just it's creepy. And then
I get that.
I love working out. I don't like going to the gym. Let's say that.
Yeah, no, I get that. Because I remember when I first started training, I always was so self-conscious. Like, I always thought, like, oh my gosh, is my form okay? Because they're probably looking at me like, what's this little kid doing? Like, bro, get out of the gym. And, when you go, you I had to find my why, and I think my why was obviously
Mhm.
because I was performing in front of hundreds of people every day with
Yeah.
no clothes on. Lion King, your body's out. You got wearing crop tops and mini diapers. So I'm wearing this stuff, you know what I mean? And I'm thinking to myself, okay, if my body's out, I don't want to be self-conscious, because if you are, then people can see that in your performance, right? You don't want people to see that is so uncomfortable to watch. To watch someone not sure of themselves while they're presenting to however many people. And so that was my why.
Yeah.
Like, if I work on my body, people are I'm going to be a little bit more confident. I'm going to feel more in my body, and then I'll have a great show. And then I started to see the benefits of it. And then I just fell in love with it. So then it became like something, like I said, that became part of my mental health routine. And it's something that I'm like, oh, and I could do this. I don't have to do all this. I could actually just do this, and that could shape my body differently. That's amazing. Like, I never thought
it's great, like being in the gym and figuring out how to manipulate muscles.
Yeah,
that's absolutely amazing.
So cool.
I actually had to be in the gym in 15 minutes. So this is not a happy moment.
I'm screaming.
It's arms and shoulders, and we're not happy about it.
That's fun. That's so much fun. That's one of my favorite workouts.
No, because then when you go to brush your teeth the next day, it's just like something's gonna lock right in here. You did it correctly. Something's gonna lock right in here, and then you're gonna go to stand up, and this tricep's gonna lock. And putting your shirt on, that's gonna hurt. It's just there's a lot of. I gotta shave my head before I do arm day, because I can't like pull the whole way back and get back to that side anymore.
Oh my gosh.
So there's that part. So there's the cons of the workout. Yeah. The pros are like you did it, and it's gonna show you some things. So the cons are the mobility gonna hurt for a little while.
It is. Cool down and stretch it out a little bit.
Yeah.
It'll help.
Yeah. Where's my smoothie? I'm ready to go.
Yeah, have a smoothie or something. Have your protein.
All right. What's next for you? I mean, I hate to ask people that when like you're in the middle of something that's huge. What ultimately, what do you want to do?
Oh man, everything. Of course, I want to do, TV, film, choreography is something I want to do. I want to work with some artists. I want to perform and do some tours with artists, because that's something I always wanted to do as well. I said, but right now, what's next for me is rest.
I'm smart.
I'm going to rest. My body, my mind, my spirit need that.
Yeah.
Especially if I'm going to continue to be an artist and heal people who come and see the show are wanting to be healed. You know what I mean? They want to do us for a couple hours. So we need to, if we're going to heal, we need to heal ourselves too. So rest before anything is next for me.
Yeah, nice. To kids that want to be dancers, and I say it's like you watch the Olympics and you watch like these acrobats, or not acrobats, that's cardboard, gymnasts, who are doing flips and tucks and all this other kind of stuff. And it's like you think about this kid that is in the field in the hood that literally would do backflips the whole way down a hill, but will never have that same opportunity. Like, what do you say to those kids that they love dancing, but just feel like there's no outlet?
I hope that they can take advantage of the times that we're in. We have TikTok, we have Instagram, we have all these things that now people are pretty much getting famous for setting up their camera and copying somebody. Now, it's the coolest thing to see because we love to see different variations of it. So that's ways that people are getting their names out there. I mean, I can't tell you how many, friends of mine have had endorsements and job opportunities just from posting a video of them doing a little Harlem Shake in their bathroom. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
I say to those kids, you know, utilize the times that we're in, you know, and don't be so worried, or I guess get caught up in the likes, how many likes you get, how many views you get. Just keep posting it, I guess, and
Yeah.
something will eventually hit. Truly, I'm like, and just share it. You never know who gets to see it. You know what I mean? And just yeah, have a good time on social media, because I mean, of course, you got to find your balance. Social media can be very overwhelming, overstimulating, but it helped a lot of people who may look different, um, you know,
Hmm.
than your typical dancer that you're used to seeing on TV or on the music videos. And so people, that's changing up a lot of the culture of dance, and who gets hired, because they see what you're doing and they're like, we like that. You know, you don't look like a typical dancer, but you're killing it. You know
Yeah.
what you're doing. Yeah, I would just say to utilize those resources.